From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big day on LALATE, live from Santa Monica with breaking news about your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. As a deal is happening and the breaking news at noontime is big. The recon, 90% of it has been agreed upon as of noontime, and the only items being negotiated still are the back end. So there's major developing details you're hearing in this broadcast from Hoyer, Pelosi, and the president in the last few minutes. A new poll reveals that Americans don't know what's in that recon. I'll go over that poll. And then the recon is likely to come in around $2 trillion. We're now hearing a little bit more than I thought. I thought it was going to come into 1.9. I have the latest breaking details at noontime. Then climate's in, climate out, college in, climate out. I'll go over the recon with Pelosi saying that 90% of the negotiations are done. And now House Representative Richard Neal saying the only thing he's doing now is the back end. Whoa, this is getting very close. We may make it by the end of today. Student loan debt, more debt could be forgiven by the weekend. And then COLA, 5 to 6%, and fifth stimulus is coming right behind that. And then we look back on the first 1.5 years of this channel and why things have moved quickly with 140 million views. But one thing that's moving very quickly at noontime is the breaking details of a recon that they said by Friday. It's only noontime, and maybe they may get it done by Friday. It was looking like Sunday about 2 hours ago, but there's a lot that has happened in the last few minutes. I have the breaking news. It's huge. This is totally different than the morning show, which you definitely watched in just 2 hours ago, but this is breaking, and it's right now, and it's noontime on LALATE. Hey, good noontime, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day and hope the weather is good where you are. It's 11 a.m. here in Santa Monica, California, live on air at the moment. While the graphic says 2 to 7 days, it looks like it could be about 7 hours. The recon could be formulated for purposes of policy in the next few minutes, and then for back end for revenue. I'll explain the details, why this is moving so quickly suddenly. LA told you so. Millions of Americans don't even know this recon exists, but I'm going to go over how things have changed by the minute. The price is right. The recon may likely come to $2 trillion, not 1.9, which I thought it was going to come to. President has gotten people to come a little bit higher, and it's great news. Programs in, programs out. I'll explain which ones got in and which ones got out, and why there is big movement, but we may not have clarity about the specifics just yet. And student loan debt forgiveness, more debt could be forgiven across the board. I'll go over the latest details. Fifth stimulus is heating up and could be coming in just a few weeks from now. And then we look forward to the incredible anniversary of this channel this Sunday. 1.5 years, 140 million views. There's a reason. You're informed, we're informed, and I have all the breaking details, and it starts right now at noontime. And boy, I'm just shocked. I don't know what happened, but Congress really got stuff together in the last few hours, and here we go. This is LALATE. Subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. You're not going to see breaking news round the clock, by the minute, off the record, inside information anywhere else like this channel. You saw the mass of humanity that watched Mornings LALATE. There's a lot of you watching, and that was a lot of breaking news. Well, guess what? I got all this, and this is just in the last few minutes. It's changing by the minute. Like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Let's first understand how this video is going to go, because there's a lot in this video. It's 45 minutes in length. I'm live with you. I'm going to go over the packages, what's in, what's out. Then I'm going to go that'll be up to the commercial break. Then at the commercial break, we'll come back and we'll go over the breaking news minutes ago. We'll go over the breaking news this morning. We'll go over the breaking news last night. and then we'll wrap it up. So there's a lot in this video, so I want to give you a roadmap where we're going. We're going to go over first this recon. It'll pay viewers this channel about $15,000. You should be really ecstatic. It's absolutely happening. The recon is happening. It's definitely going to happen, and it may happen exactly on time schedule. So it'll pay viewers this channel about $15,000. As soon as it becomes along, I'll show you how to get this money. The recon is divided upon 3 clusters, which I cover on this channel. I'm going to go over each of those clusters, but it's important to remember is this recon's for you. Single individuals, married couple, people with children, people without children, people on disabilities, people not on disabilities, red states, blue states, all money for you. You should be very happy. This is a lot of money, and it is kind of coming in around $2 trillion. Let's go over each of the clusters and the add-ons, and a lot happening. Here we go. Cluster number 1, hazard pay and $4,000 of elder care. They're staying in there so far. Elder care and hazard pay. Broaden the eligibility across the board for that hazard pay, increasing the earned income tax credit, increasing the amount of money for those essential workers. And then we turn to the elder care, $4,000 a year, and then $4,000 for caring for young children. Then we turn to the money for college students. The Pell's grant made tax-free, and then the money directly to the university and to the student. The child tax credit is an example of how reporting of this, when we have 30, 40 provisions in a recon, I don't get an update every minute about weatherizing your home. So maybe weatherizing your home disappears and is out of the recon by, in the next 2 hours. But some of these provisions, we have updates literally every 10 seconds. And the child care credit is not happening more than 1 year. It'll be 1 year, $300 a month, up to $300 a month, $3,600. Then they got money in there for your home repairs so far. So far, still staying in there. And that is low-income community, totally free. As soon as this becomes law, I'll show you how to get this big money. Then they got money in there for electric bikes and electric cars, $7,500 for purchase of a new electric car, personal use, and then 15% for the purchase of a new electric bike, all electric, all U.S. auto manufactured. That is the first cluster checks. As to the first add-on, the Maxine Waters, $25,000 for the purchase price of a new home. No updates. I have heard nothing about this, so I don't know if it's getting in there or not getting in there. And Maxine Waters is a House member. I have more about these add-ons in a second. But Maxine Waters has $200 billion in there for rental aid. I think that's in danger. I don't think she's going to get $200 billion. Third stimulus was $47 billion, so I think she could hope to get it around there. I don't see it at $200 billion, which would be a huge draw. That would be almost a quarter of the entire recon. Let's turn to the $25,000 is for first-time home buyers. No updates yet. Don't know. And with so many items, if we hear it's out or in, I'm telling you, if I haven't heard anything, I'll tell you I haven't heard anything. So when we go to cluster number 2, home repairs and paid leave, paid family leave, paid medical leave, childcare programs, pre-kindergarten, tuition-free community college, and money to weatherize your home. So the weatherizing the home, it appears that it's still in there at the moment. It doesn't seem like it's out yet. That's free money to weatherize your home. Always keep especially if the moderate Democrats are on the roof. As I say, keep the moderate Democrats out of the House, and wherever possible, keep them out of the Senate. So where are the battlegrounds in the second cluster? Paid leave and paid family leave, paid medical leave. This is a Pelosi provision. She's going to the mat for it, and it was still in as of yesterday. People are trying to get it out. She has given us no update. It's out, so I believe it's still in there. Then the community college, free community college, it was out from Jalapal Wednesday morning, in Wednesday evening from Pelosi. By Thursday, it looked like it was 2 years or less. So it looks like it may have gotten in there, but not for lifetime. More about that later in this video. We go to the second add-on, Bob Casey's $250 billion for home health care. Definitely not happening at that price tag. $250 billion would be a quarter of the entire recon. Not happening. So did Bob Casey sort of agree to something smaller? I don't know. Maybe he agreed to 1 year of this, for 50 billion. I don't know. But this would be free home health care if you're on disabilities or you're a senior. This is great money across the board. Let's turn to the third cluster. That third cluster is literally the cluster That word. Yeah, it's a cluster, that word, because this is where the big battle is. And some of these items are literally heating up and getting twisted and turned by the hour. Here we go. So I'll tell you first the items in the third cluster that were passed, and then the ones that are out, and then the ones that are in jeopardy. Free school meals for all, checks. Cheaper prescription medication, checks for farmers, checks for free internet, checks for clean energy, checks for workers like independent contractors, and checks for seniors, dental, vision, and hearing care. All right, so let's go over which of those that we know any updates about. So we know that the clean energy is out, or at least one of the provisions in there is out. I told you a week ago it was out. You heard me on Mornings LA. It was the provision no one should have ever put it in there. It's a horrible provision for millions of Americans because they would lose their jobs. And I'll detail it later in this video. It's out. It's staying out. Next, the money for dental, vision, and hearing care. That's one of the biggest battlegrounds right at this very moment. It's a Bernie Sanders provision. He wants it in. It's staying in, but the way it's staying in, he's not happy with at the moment. I'll go over how it's staying in and what's happening with it. The money for prescription medication, clearly done. I don't know what they did with it. I think they changed the language because this was this was a Sinema provision she didn't like. So it looks like it's staying in there because I haven't heard it's out. But there you go. That I'll have more about this in and out of provisions and the latest updates last night, this morning, and minutes ago. It's fascinating. The big, what I call the meat and potatoes of the video, which is where I show you the rundown, what's in and what's out, and the numbers come up next. As we go to MSC, I have a big update about MSC, which is fascinating. And the update is quite sort of the function of how this beast is working. There is a legislator who I'm going to get to later in this video who says, I'm a House member, I'm a Democrat. No one's asked me what I want in this. And why are you just asking Kristen Sinema? I have a word and you need to ask me what I want. Why is that important at this part of this video when we're talking about MSC? Because a lot of the negotiations have been what you've seen over the last year of this channel, higher ups, Pelosi, President, Schumer, Sinema, Manchin, Bernie, Richard Neal. And then how about everyone else? We haven't really asked them. Excuse me? You haven't really asked the other people what they want or not. Well, how does that work? So this is why MSC is a big issue, because you have thousands of viewers being told by dozens of legislators they're adding it in there. And some of these legislators are not quoted in any of these meetings. An Omar, an AOC, and they say they want to add stuff in there. There is a legislator who's talking about her provision saying, no one's asked me what I want, and guess what? You don't put it in there, I'm adding it in there. This is why this is why knowing these steps of this process is very important. We are looking at senior members of the Democratic Party, not all the Democrats, senior members of the Democratic Party who are trying to get an agreement, verbal agreement done by today. Then writing it up over the weekend, getting ready for a House vote by the middle of next week. That doesn't mean that is the end. And that's sort of what that House member says. House members have not had a say in this negotiation. So they're going to come to that House floor and say, wait a second, I want to add stuff in there. You haven't listened to me. I have stuff I want to add in there. And that is where we get to all these add-ons. The Maxine Waters, you know she's going to go to the mat for her stuff. Bob Casey, but he's on the Senate side. And of course, this item across the board. You have three opportunities where they can add it. Add it before it's a House bill. Add it after it's a House bill, but before it's a House vote. And that is what Omar's office has said, that she wants to add it after we have a House bill, but before we have a House vote. She wants to add it as an add-on. Then we have over on the Senate, the two-day vote-a-rama, which is very critical. That two-day vote-a-rama in the Senate is where senators do their magic, and they have the final say, and they have the higher chamber, and they come in and they say, I'm changing things or adding things. Those senators were the guys and gals that got those student loan debts not taxable when forgiven. It was a provision they added, meaning that once student loan debts are forgiven, you would normally have to pay $20,000 to $30,000 of taxes. They got a provision added into third stimulus during the vote-a-rama, during the last 2 days, that got it done. House members didn't even talk about it. So that is why the vote-a-rama is very important. Then your advocacy, hideously important, because we are not at that finish line right now. And we have that incredible message from the number one senator of the equation. That number one senator, chief of staff, says, advocate until you are at that finish line. And let's read that incredible comment to viewers' this channel. The message says that you need to push until you're over the finish line. And that until we're over the finish line, keep on pushing. With that, we got a lot coming up in the second half of this video. And the second half of this video, will we be turning to the big rundown, the breaking news, because I have a lot really today at noontime. A deal could be happening in 2 days, more like 2 hours. Why is everything suddenly speeding up on a Friday midday? I have the latest details. Then, a new poll says Americans don't even know what this recon even exists. You do. And in the second half of this video, we'll be going over why the price is now looking more like it's 2. It looks like it's on the high end at 2. Then, the big part of the video you're waiting for, what's in, what's out. I have the latest update, and boy, it is totally new at afternoons. It's different than the morning show an hour and a half ago. It's a lot of stuff. That's why I'm cutting to commercial break quickly, because I want to make sure I have enough time to go over it. Student loan debt, more debt could be forgiven, and then the COLA raises. Guess what? Fifth stimulus is coming right behind it. And then we look over the last year and a half of this channel and what we have learned as a family. I have those details and more as we go into the second half of this video. Stay with me. It's a big second half, and it's a lot of breaking news. And stay as LA continues. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. A deal is happening, and that deal will pay viewers on average about $15,000 for their recon. The deal could be done by the end of today. And while this morning I thought maybe it was looking like Sunday, it's now looking like at the end of the day. I'll have the latest details, and boy, it's shocking. LA told you so. Americans don't know that their recon even exists. What are Democrats trying to do to fix the situation? The price is right, and now it's going higher. It may be closer to $2 trillion. I thought it was coming in at 1.9. I'll have the latest details. The big part of the video you're looking for, programs in, programs out. Which ones are in, which ones out? I have the latest details. And then student loan debt, more debt could be forgiven for the weekend. Which ones are they? This stimulus is heating up right after your COLA raise, and get ready for that because it's deliciousness. And then as we look forward to the incredible 1.5-year anniversary of this channel this weekend, what have we learned about ourselves and this community? I have all those details and more. It's a big show, and we're just getting started, and this is Noontime on LALATE. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, and consider becoming a member. Programming schedule coming up next is the 1 o'clock afternoon show. This video will automatically take you there. The 3 o'clock afternoon show taped before this. And then the evening show, LALATE show, taped after this. So the evening's LALATE show at 5 o'clock will be the last major update. But watch the 3 o'clock afternoon show and watch the evening's LALATE show. It will be the last update for the day. A lot happening, and let's go over the big shocker across the board. The big shocker is that everything sort of accelerated very quickly since 9 a.m. today and now at 11 o'clock. What's going on? Pelosi says 90% of the recon has been done. What? Excuse me? Yeah. So we have different quotes from different people, and all of them are really great quotes, one more better than the other. Richard Neal, who is the House Ways and Means chairman, Democrat out of Massachusetts, says all the policy part of the recon is done, and that all they're doing now is the revenue side. We've agreed upon the policy outcomes. Now we have to finish on the revenue side. This is the ninth inning. This is a quote just minutes ago. The conversations continue. What does this mean? Revenue policy is are we doing a community college? Yes, we are. Okay, how are we revenue? How are we paying for it? We're paying for it with corporate tax here and corporate tax there. So he says the policy negotiations are done. All they're doing is the revenue, the back end, what I call the back end. This follows after the president's comments last night. So what do I know about the back end? What I know about the back end is that the president last night said that Kyrsten Sinema will not spend a penny, will not raise a single penny on taxes for corporate side, for corporate taxes. So that was heard last night during the CNN town hall. What is the update specifically on that right now? That is correct. Kyrsten Sinema was able to successfully block any raise of the corporate tax rate. Not happening. Not happening. But so where are they getting the money to pay for the recon? By the rich taxes. Kyrsten Sinema does like the rich person's taxes, which is billionaires' taxes, and then establishing a corporate tax minimum, which is different than the tax rate. And then here are the other items that Sinema has agreed to all 4 of Joe Biden's revenue proposals, which are international and domestic corporate, higher net worth individual, and tax enforcement, but not on other provisions. So fascinating. The president's really working overtime on this. President found other increments for Sinema to agree to, and she said yes to all 4. So again, no corporate tax rate going up, but corporate tax loopholes, corporate tax minimum, and then rich person's taxes. Sinema said yes, done deal. So with Richard Neal saying that the recon policy is done, that all they're doing is the back end, fascinating. Now let's go to Pelosi's comment. Pelosi not as rosy as Richard Neal. She says there are many decisions that have to be made. This is a comment minutes ago. This is Pelosi walking out of a meeting after morning's LA. She said, there are many decisions that have to be made, but more than 90% of everything is already agreed to and written. That was her quote. Wow. This is following after a Pelosi-Biden breakfast at the White House, and Schumer called in from New York. Steny Hoyer, who is the guy on the House side, the majority leader, he's the guy who determines when you call for vote and things like that. He says, I've been hoping there'd be a deal for the last 3 months. Obviously, we're working very hard. I'm very hopeful, but I think we're getting something done. Obviously, our objective is to get it done by today, Friday. My hope is that we have both bills, recon and infrastructure, ready to the floor for a vote next week, quote, if they are ready. Okay, fascinating. This next quote comes from Representative Stephanie Murphy out of Florida. She's a Democrat. And her quote is very much along the lines of what I was talking about earlier in this video. She's the person I was referring to. She basically says, hey, I'm going to make some changes to this recon because no one has shown it to me. Sound like Omar, AOC, Bob Casey, Ron Wyden? Yeah, sounds familiar to something we've been talking about on this channel for a couple of weeks. She said, while there's a significant focus on Senate Democratic members, House members also have a distinct perspective on the bill. I would really like to engage and see why. we need to make sure that our concerns are heard and addressed. Yeah. So that's great news for you. That's signaling what we've always talked about on this channel. If a House member wants to make changes, the House member can make changes. Senate member want to make changes, it can. What they do with this legislation is not unusual. And I don't think I've made that clear. This is not unusual. We've done this several times on this channel for prior legislation. The higher members, ranking members of the Democratic Party or the party in control, does the legislation, puts it together, and then puts it to everyone else. And then everyone else said, you haven't asked me. I have to add some stuff. I'm adding some stuff. So there you go. The president last night said that Sinema has agreed to the climate, but did not want to raise corporate taxes, but that is solving the other provisions. And then the president said, dental, vision, and hearing. It's great. I like it, but Joe Manchin doesn't do it. So I don't know. In a second, you see it's the president who doesn't want to do dental, vision, and hearing for more than 3 years. All right. So now we have zoomed forward. Let's cut to that new CBS poll. That new CBS poll says 90% of Americans don't even know the recon exists. So if you're trying to have this conversation with someone who's never seen this channel, they will not be able to have a conversation with you. They don't even know what the recon is. They don't even know it exists. And then 10% of the remaining 10% polled in that CBS poll said people could tell you a recon exists, but couldn't tell you what's in there. So if you try to have a conversation about this channel with someone else that doesn't watch this channel, they're not going to know what's in there. Price is Right. 2, 1, 1.7, 1.9. Where is it going to be? It looked like it was going to be 1.9 up to just 2 hours ago. Now it's looking like it's 2. The president mentioned 2, and apparently he may have gotten Sinema and Manchin to 2 because Sinema's holdout was corporate tax rate going up. He said, president said, no, I'll get the money for modifying other tax things that Sinema likes. And it's fascinating. I got to give big thumbs up to the president on this one. He saw a person, Sinema, saying, I don't like corporate taxes going up. The president said, there's other type of corporate tax things we can fix, like loopholes. She said, yes. So he figured it out in the numbers, figured that raised enough money for the recon. And Sinema said, yeah, that's brilliant workmanship. I mean, this is a guy who's really should have been doing this months ago. But this is a person who's really on top of every microcosm of how to get things done. I really like it. I'm going to say it's him doing it, but that's what I'm assuming. Someone in this group really understood you got to fix these numbers in a particular way to get the person on board. And Joe Manchin with the energy, more about that in a second. Dick Durbin says, yeah, we need to tell Americans about this recon. So what's being tossed, what's in, what's out, and where are we right now? Let's go over the provisions, where we are. Ultimately, we are at you have to understand where the reporting is on this channel. It's based upon off-the-record, inside sources, close to the negotiations, or if someone actually says it walking out of the meeting. Most of the time, they're not saying it walking out of the meeting. So where are we on particular provisions? Community college, not going to be lifetime. It's going to be either in there for 2 years or out. Not very clear. Next, the cuts. What are the cuts? So, child care tax credit, not going to be 18 years, not going to be 10 years, not going to be 5 years. Likely to be 1 year, says most indication, which would be $3,600 or $3,000. That's it. Bringing it to the 2022 midterm elections. Why? People may ask me, why just 1 year? It cost $109 billion just 1 year. So imagine you do 2 years of it, it's $209 billion. You're approaching an eighth of the price of the recon. Yeah, it's very expensive because there's a lot of children. Battlegrounds, the third cluster, that third cluster. The dental, vision, and hearing, which is Bernie Sanders' big provision. He wants a lifetime. President appeared on that CNN town hall last night saying, I like it, but Joe Manchin doesn't like it. The president didn't tell the American people that the president has told Bernie Sanders he doesn't want it lifetime. He doesn't even want it 3 years. He'll maybe do it with some vouchers. So this is where things are changing by the minute. Bernie Sanders is really trying to push against vouchers. paid family leave and medical leave. This is a Nancy Pelosi provision. This is where she said, I've changed more diapers than anyone in this room. She's fine to keep it in there. I think it's in jeopardy. I don't think she's going to get many years of it, or she's going to get a little bit of it. Remember, it's $1,700 a week, or $800 a week, or $400. It's a lot of money. And how do you pay for that if you're going more than a year, 2 years? Then you're approaching $300, $400 billion on it. It's a very expensive program. So I see it coming down a lot. What else is going on? Then the battleground really is the climate. They're trying to get as many provisions in the climate in there and stay in there. But the big one is out. As Representative Amy Barra said, I would like to see some climate in there, but I'm not going to hold it up. There was a series of very bad calculated moves by the White House, which are manifesting themselves today. And I really do think that somewhere along the way, the White House realized that we were too wishful and we went the wrong direction. And someone had a wake-up call at this White House this week. And I do think that if you've seen the quotes, this is why things have changed. What went wrong? And why was it why were we doing this for so many months? Number one, we now know that there was a key provision in there called clean energy, basically, that was a provision that went after the coal miners of West Virginia, and that, if passed, would put millions of coal miners in West Virginia out of work overnight and lose their jobs during the holiday season. If you're an elected official from the state of West Virginia, you don't want to put your citizens out of work and lose their jobs in the middle of a pandemic. No. And that provision was a very anti-Joe Manchin provision. It was put in by someone in the White House, and Joe Manchin said, I'm not doing the recon. What happened was Joe Manchin got demonized over the last few months for a provision that was not and was rightfully so objected to by Joe Manchin. If you're elected to represent those people in the state, you don't want to make your state residents unemployed. So Joe Manchin was demonized for this, for a provision that really should not have been in there. As soon as that provision was out, then suddenly things moved very quickly. The next thing that was really an issue was the White House was not being inventive enough with that corporate tax rate. There were a lot of people against the corporate tax rate going up, and the president heard from Sinema and many others, I don't want to do a raise the corporate tax rate. The president now in October is finding other ways to raise the revenue from other types of tax changes that everyone likes. Could have done this months ago. I mean, this is inventive thinking now, but should have been inventive thinking then. I don't know why it took a brick wall to be knocked down for people to realize you don't like it. She has a right not to like it. That was her position. She has a right not to like it. Now it's coming out. Along the way, you do see that there are certain elements that are sort of at issue, which is Richard Neal sort of, pushing everything to writing. And that's what Richard Neal says. We've agreed upon the policy outcomes. We're now trying to find a path on the revenue side. This is the ninth inning, he said minutes ago. The conversation are continuing. Nancy Pelosi saying minutes ago, we're exuberant party with many points of view, and we're building on consensus, and we will get this done. And 90% of everything is agreed to. And that Steny Hoyer says, hey, I've been trying to do this for 3 months. I know everything. I know what you're talking about. But we look to have everything ready for a vote next week, if ready. He makes it very clear. So what do I think about the situation? I think that it could be done by the end of the today. If it's not done by the end of the day, it's going to be done by Sunday. It looks like it will be done. Meantime, I do think that that's that one House member's statement which says other people want to add stuff in there. Yeah, I need you to be in that same mindset with me. The negotiations have been the highest echelon. Omar is not in the negotiations. AOC is not in the negotiations. Jalapal to some extent is in there, but it's basically Bernie. It's really Nancy, Chuck, the president, Sinema, and Manchin. That's the first tier of the negotiations. Then Bernie next in there. And then after that comes the Jalapal and the Richard Neal type group of people. So there's a lot of people who have never had their say in this situation. And trust me, You've been with me for a while. When they want to have their say, they do have their say, and they introduce it by amendments. Let's go to student loan debt forgiveness. More student loan debt could be forgiven by the weekend. This shows you how when a person makes an offer, you should maybe take it if it looks good, and it's the $10,000. The president has now offered this week $10,000 of student loan debt forgiveness, which doesn't preclude the Democrats from going back and asking for more later on, but the Democrats should take it. It doesn't make sense to hold off. The president has forgiven 3 rounds of student loan debt, 2 in the last few days. Let's go over. First, the president forgave student loan debts for individuals who became disabled after graduation. Your debts have been forgiven. Number 2, the president forgave student loan debts for individuals who went into the nonprofit sector after graduation. Then the president has now forgiven student loan debts for individuals who went to work in the public sector after graduation. This is you, City Hall, city, county, state, federal government. All of you, your student loan debts are forgiven. Makes sense. Hard to pay for those student loan debts if you're a public school teacher or if you work for Department of Sanitation. Very, very great news. Your student loan debts are forgiven. It's a federal order. It comes from the president, comes from the White House, Department of Education, Department of Labor. There you go. But that $10,000 should be taken as well. COLA raises, and you may have heard about the COLA raise, but did you hear about the talk about fifth stimulus? I bet you didn't. I got that for you as well. COLA raise, your benefits are going to go up next year 5 to 6%, which is great, which is what we were looking for originally on the fifth stimulus. But guess what? We're not done there yet because fifth stimulus is coming right behind it. The breaking news is that House Budget Chair John Yarmuth, Democrat from Kentucky, spoke with Pelosi this week and said, we're going to do fifth stimulus right after this. She said, yes. I love it. Why does he want to do it? Number 1, he wants to do all these sort of items that help you, that we've been detailing on this channel. And also, he says you deserve it. Number 3, that the provisions help people in red states and blue states. And finally, it's going to be a great win for the Democrats going into the midterm elections. What's his quote? That force the Republicans to vote against this via recon, like Medicare expansion or child care or senior care, depending on what we want to decide to put in the package. I don't see where the downside of this is an election year because we're going to do things that are really popular. Brilliant move. He's basically saying, put the brilliance of SSI and SSDI and Social Security and senior care and Medicare and money for medicine and things for and things for help, and put it in there. Do it by recon, pass it, and then turn to the Republicans and say, do you want to vote on it? No, I'm going to vote against it, and then take that to the midterm election. Fascinating. As we look back on the first year and a half of this channel, we've learned so much, and it has been a big adventure across the board. The adventure started here when I pressed record, not knowing if anyone would listen in. And trust me, there was that video that first week of this channel, if you remember, and were a viewer the first week of this channel. And that video, as I look back on it, tells me a little bit about myself, a little bit about you. What happened? This channel ran for about 6 days and did good traffic the first 6 days. And then the traffic went down for 7th day and then the 8th day. And I woke up one morning, I said, I'm not doing this anymore. Day 7, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. They just not watching. Where did they go on day 7? They were there day 1 to 6, and they're gone on day 7. So I went on camera on day 8, I think it was, and I said, so you weren't here yesterday. It's sort of blunt. I said, you weren't watching me on day 7. You were watching me day 1 to 6, and you weren't watching. So if you're not here tomorrow, I won't be back. It's sort of blunt a way to talk to people. But and I said, I enjoy being here. I enjoy you being here. I enjoy being with you. So if you show up tomorrow, please do. Otherwise, I won't be back. And while I don't think that's the best way to talk to people, it was certainly very blunt. And what did it tell me about myself is that you can't gauge things on 1 day or 2 days or 3 days. You can't. Yeah, traffic was down on day 6 or day 7, whatever day it was. And then when I said that, the traffic went on through the roof the next day, which was, I think, day 8. And I think I broke down in tears on camera, which is sort of melodramatic. I mean, it's just, why break down in tears about that? But I did. And I guess it was sort of, feeling as though people wanted to be part of this. And I had lost faith after one day, bad day at day 7. So what is my message to you? What was my message to myself? What is our message going forward? Which is, don't lose faith after one bad day. Don't lose faith after even just a slightly mediocre day. We all have mediocre days. We all have bad days. We all have days where things just sort of go this way and go that way. And don't ever lose faith. There was one person in the morning's chat, I'm not going to say her name, but she was in the morning's LA show this morning. And she said, I'm getting very stressed out about this. I'm going to see you later. Don't get stressed out about this. That's me at day 8. I got stressed out. I said, where are you? You're not here. Where are you? Hiding under Javita's scarf? Where are you? And don't ever let things get stressed out about you. No time or place for that whatsoever. When you're gauging how to learn information, when you're trying to improve yourself, when you're trying to find your footing, when you're trying to figure out how to go from A to B, don't ever get stressed out. You have a recon. You have a recon that's passing. You have a president who wants to pass it. You have a Democrats who want to pass it. You have a Joe Manchin and a Chris Sinema who want to pass it. You have every Democrat who now wants to pass that recon, and they want to pass it by today. They don't want to pass it 5 months from now. They want to pass it by today. Very rare we could actually say something like that on this channel, where we've often had times where you never know if people are going to get to it a month from now or a day from now. Now they clearly want to get it done by the end of today. If it's not by the end of today, then it's by this weekend, and then get it ready for a bill vote. But you and I know that's not the bill. That's not the finality. You want to add something, they can still add it. As that representative out of Florida said, no one's asked me what I want in here. So trust me, I'm going to add some stuff because you haven't been asking me. It's a recon that'll pay viewers about $15,000 across the board. And when it becomes law, I'm going to show you how to get that recon, how to get that money. Whether you are a member or not a member. I deliver everything on camera. People have said strange comments in private messages in the last few days. What's on camera is the information. There's no side information anywhere else. All the information is on camera. The membership newsletter embodies what's in the camera, but also goes into more detail so that people have it in front of them when they apply. It's important to embody that information and imply that information across the board. As soon as this becomes law, I'm going to show you how to get all this incredible money. They'll pay the viewers on at least $15,000 just to start. But we're not done there yet, because they still got to get it to a bill. They got to get it to a vote. They got to get it to the House amendments, and they got to get it to the vote-a-rama as well. So with that, join me next on the 1 o'clock afternoon show. The 3 o'clock afternoon show is big. A lot of big updates in there. Those were the updates as of right before this recording. The evening's LATE show will be the last update of the day. That's at 5 o'clock. And then we got shows at 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 o'clock across the board. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers is your YouTube record. I want you part of the incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, stay here, and join me next on Afternoons LALATE.